Let's go, Rider Nation.
I'm ready. I'm ready. Yeah, here we go. It's a feeling now. Hit 'em high, hit 'em low, 'cause we're dealing now. Everybody's giving it all they got, 'cause we're ready.
This is the Piffles podcast, your Saskatchewan Roughriders fan podcast. Thanks for joining us here this week. You got me. I'm Alex.
I'm Steve.
I no longer believe that one is the loneliest number.
Two
Okay.
can be as bad as one,
That is one.
but the loneliest number is the number one.
Yes. But it's
Wow.
also the magic number.
It is. Really thought it'd take a little bit longer for us to get, singing in this show, but sure enough, here we are. Get it out of the way now. I promise no more singing going forward.
Singing? Was it singing? That's more like Shatner's spoken word Rocket Man.
Fair enough.
And we have lost every one of our listener.
Yeah. Sorry, Mom. Thanks for listening wherever you get your podcasts, watching on YouTube, watching on SaskTel Max TV on demand. You can give us a follow on social at Piffles Pod. I'm at Real Alex D.
You can find me at Safamod.
And as always, I do not need nor want your pity follows at Greg on Sports.
Piffles Podcast, of course, is brought to you by Dairy Queen on Elphinstone Street and Sask Drive in Regina. We're also proud to be sponsored by Kathy Festian of Royal LePage Next Level, Churchill Brewing Company, District 306, Regina's Tactical Laser Tag Experience, Bigfoot Vodka, and Creasy's Premium Home Leisure Jacuzzi Spas, which that temperature is getting a little bit cool right now. Man, getting into a nice hot tub would be really nice right now.
Oh, that'd be delightful.
On the sideline of Taylor's Field.
Those were the days.
Section 28, yelling out that somebody sucks the whole game. Hot tubs, what a time.
And it was always Wally or Ballsy.
Yeah.
The best was asking Wally what he thought of us always chanting at him to get off the field. When we went to Montreal last year and they did the celebration for the 1974 team that Wally was on. That was
I don't
nice.
even remember what he said.
Say that again, Steve?
I said, I don't even remember what he said.
Oh, he said that he went on the field all the time because if he didn't, so it made it look like, or to his boss, it made it look like he was doing something.
You're on mute now, Steve.
You're a mess.
This is what happens when we record too late. It's past my bedtime.
Yeah, same. It's been a long day. Anyway,
Yeah, long day.
football, Riders, big win in Ottawa. Let's talk about it. Time for the opening kickoff. Riders win 20-13 in Ottawa, moving the record to 11-4. The first place 11-4, but yet the sky still seems to be falling. I know it wasn't a pretty win. I know it wasn't. It was far from the greatest win we've ever seen them have. But you know what? In a month, maybe even in 2 weeks, no one's going to remember that game. All that matters.
There will be somebody that will point out.
Do you remember that game where the offense was terrible, but yet Trevor Harris still threw for 82%? So we did our post-game show, which you can find on YouTube if you go back on there. We talked a lot about the game, obviously. We'll do a little bit of it here, but a lot of the comments were back on there. I want to focus on the positives from this game because there was a lot of positives. First off, we got to start with that defense. The linebackers, all three of them getting an interception. Antoine Brooks at Sam linebacker had that pick six, the game-changing pick six. They were just phenomenal. The secondary, that was probably the best game the secondary has played, at least in a long, long time. You're holding a guy like Eugene Lewis to 56 yards, and half of those were on one play over the middle. That was about as dominating as a performance by, the back two levels of this defense that we've seen in quite some time.
Do you remember before the game when you were sitting there talking about that switch to CJ Rebus at safety and moving Antoine Brooks into linebacker? And we were all a little bit concerned. I don't think we're concerned anymore. He absolutely fit in there. He's a ball hawk.
And it wasn't so much about Brooks. It was moving CJ Rebus away from the ball a little bit and moving him to safety. But we got some of the best safety play we've seen in a year with Rebus. And Brooks obviously was a natural. I had concerns about Brooks because the last time we saw him against Calgary, he got dusted a couple times by Damien Alford. And that was when he was playing corner. So this is clearly a much better fit for him playing that Sam linebacker spot.
Oh, definitely is. Out on that Sam spot, you got the running backs in the slots, usually on those crossers. You don't have to worry about going step for step with a guy probably got a foot on you like Alford was on Brooks that game. This defense, like Benny Sapp didn't look out of place either for what his second or third game. Like, don't get me wrong, I still would like the full compliment we had at the beginning of the year if I had my druthers, obviously, but some of these guys that they have brought in can play, and they're adding more thanks to the expanded practice rosters. So here's hoping some of these guys that are injured can come back soon so we can get our full complement back.
You know, if you sit there and look at our defensive backfield now, especially with the injuries we saw in this game to Sales and Milligan, 4/5 of our starting 5 and 5 of our starting 8 in the backfield are on the IR right now. And we're still succeeding defensively, and that points to Corey Mace and what he has put together as a unit as a whole. They all play well, no matter what position they're thrown into, with the exception of Kerfala Exime. There's no hope for him. Sorry,
we might get a dose of him.
God,
this upcoming week.
Take whoever their top receiver is in fantasy if he's on. Yikes.
Well, that'll come up in our game preview, but I thought it was really funny with this game, and the D-line started out very, very well in this game. I don't want to say tailed off, but didn't have the same kind of pressure in the second half that they did in the first half, but they also had to switch up a little bit when Dustin Crum came in, and all of a sudden you're watching for a guy who can run the ball really, really well. So I think they did shift their defense just a little bit when Crum was there. But ultimately, I mean, that was about as dominant as a performance you'll see from this defense. So I really liked what I saw on that side of the ball, except for the injuries. The Roland Milligan one, a little bit scary. We'll talk more about him and Marcus Sales in the preview and the practice updates that we'll do. But I thought that side of the ball was just fine.
And it's funny, you look at how good that side of the ball was, and that wasn't even the group that made the best defensive play of the game.
That guy right there, AJ
Ouellette. Jesus, that we lose that game if he does not make that tackle. I will say it right now. You could feel the momentum going, and that crushed it. I know they still scored, but that took the sails right out of Ottawa, because he had a clear path. He was gone.
Mm-hmm. Now that play specifically, one, I liked that they were throwing the ball at the end of the game to win the game, not just run the ball a couple times. Hopefully you kill the clock and you might get a first down. They were playing to win the game. The offensive calls that Mark Mueller had, the throws that Trevor Harris was making to Dante Myers, who had a monster game. I really liked that. It was aggressive, and we haven't seen that a lot from this team. They've played pretty conservatively in terms of play calling to grind out games, to kill clock a little bit. They went and won that game with those plays. And it does come down to it where that was the first play after the 3-minute warning.
Yep.
I went outside to take my dog out to pee and came back in, and all I saw was Ouellette catch up the guy. I'm like, what the hell happened? And I look at our DM chat that we had for the game, and yeah, you guys going, oh my God. But that play, I do wonder why they were passing. I understand why they were. I'm praising them for doing it, except maybe on that play. That one, maybe you probably want to go a little bit conservative and possibly run the ball. You got to think you have 2 cracks from, what was it, the 6-yard line to get that ball in the end zone.
All I know is Pete Carroll looked at it and goes, "Yeah, that's the right call."
But the play by AJ
Patrick Mahomes last night. Anyway.
Yeah. But the play by AJ Ouellette, Steve, I agree 100%. It was a game-saving tackle, game-saving play. But I think it was much more than that. I think that play was not season-altering, but maybe season-defining. Certainly for AJ Ouellette. You look at what he did in the offseason and the crap that he took from a lot of fans all of last year with obviously the hip injury and being this big pricey free agent and didn't live up to our expectations of him. Got absolutely shredded, lost 20 pounds, put it all into muscle in the off season. I truly believe he doesn't make that tackle if he doesn't have that kind of off season. Yep. I don't think he catches up. He might make it close. I don't think he catches up. So that whole off season of work that he put in was shown right there in that one play. And not only did it save the game, I thought that it might alter how the season goes, because that's true leadership, leading by example. And other guys will see that. I guarantee they looked at that in the film room and they're showing, you don't ever quit. This is why you don't quit. And that you ingrain that into your players, and you're going to see efforts made like that for the rest of the year. And it's going to kind of define where this team ends up. I don't think it's going to alter where the team ends up, but I think it defines where they end up. So I think this is much bigger than just, saving a touchdown.
Oh, 100%. This is also one of those plays where if he dialed it back 10% going, you know what? Yeah, they're going to score anyways, probably. We'll just get them back. He could have done that. No one would have been the wiser. And we talking about how he almost got there and it just wasn't enough, running 90, almost 100 yards to bring him down, right? So the fact that he did also, it shows that he wasn't going to quit and give up on the play, where I guarantee you there's probably 67% of the guys in the league going, maybe next time.
And you say it about the locker room and how they play for each other. We talked about it last year when Corey Mace was hired and how there was all the jokes about how people would run through a brick wall for the guy just based on how he portrays himself and how he speaks to his team and the fans and everything. And to me, that play was the epitome of what Corey Mace has instilled on this roster. And that's a big deal. And if you can have that kind of effort and attitude going into the home stretch and into the playoffs, it tells you this team has no quit in them, and that's what you need.
Now, obviously on paper, yes, they should have blown Ottawa out of the water. I get it. But and I've had many people come up to me at work and say basically the same thing. They were disappointed in the loss, in the win, and how it should have been by more. Every game has its own unique challenges, and we should almost expect this from this organization as a whole. Maybe not specifically this year's team, but just as a Rough Rider fan, we should just know that they're going to play up or down to their,
okay,
opponents.
But here's the thing. Know who had the number right? The Gamblers. They just covered the number. This was only a 6.5 point game. So the people that do this for a living, that set lines, knew this was going to be a 1 touchdown game. So sometimes you need to put your fandom aside and understand that football is not just fantasy football. We're not getting 109 and 130 point scores here. Like, the game is still played on the field. You got to be realistic sometimes.
And winning a game on the road, I don't care if it's a 1 point win, whether it's a 50 point win, just win on the road. And I'm quite happy, because those are games you're not supposed to win. Right. So, and that leads to Trevor Harris. And we talked about it on the post game, where they had that really quick start, tempo on that first drive, which is what I wanted to see. I said that on the show last week. Want to see some more tempo. They did that. They ended up scoring a touchdown, and they went away from it. yeah, they had, what was it, 7 straight punting drives. They still moved the ball a little bit during those. It's not like they were going 2 and out each and every time. And yeah, it was a little bit disappointing that they only put up 20 total points, and 8 of those were off of a pick 6. So the offense really only put up 12 points. But I'm not too worried about that. Trevor Harris was still 82%. Everyone was talking about this was such an awful game for Trevor Harris. And while, yes, he didn't have his best game, he was still 82%, threw for 341 yards. So, I mean, I know stats don't tell the story of a game all the time, but I don't know what else you want there.
If you could tell me our quarterback threw for 340 yards and 82%, I'm pretty sure every fan in every team would be completely okay with that game after game after game. Trevor Harris wasn't the problem this game. It was a couple of drops, a couple of concentration errors, and Ottawa gets paid to play too. Yeah. The one thing I liked was that the team came out hot. I wish they didn't come out flat after that and, kept that momentum, but that was our biggest concern, was we weren't playing until halftime. And then all of a sudden they were waking up. So at least they showed up and did something out of the gate. There is still a little bit of concern with the offense. They're not at 100%, but we talked about it on the post game again. This is still the first time he's thrown balls to some of these guys, or first or second time in months.
Yep. Give
them time to gel. It's a whole new offense effectively. Give them time. We'll be all right.
Obviously, Dante Myers had that massive game. Dante Myers actually going to join us for an interview this week, so we'll have that out on Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening. So check back for that. This is a guy who has, in 19 games, like 1,400 yards over his career, 9 touchdowns. Just on another level, this guy, and nobody's talking about him nationally.
Nope.
Just an absolute stud. So got to give him his props. He had one hell of a game. Looking forward to chatting with him in the next day. And just to finish off with the offense, AJ Ouellette, what do you guys think of him running the Tommy Stevens package with the quarterback sneaks?
He'll get you your 1 yard, maybe 2.
The yard you need.
Yeah. He's the opposite of what you get out of Tommy Stevens. I don't feel as comfortable because a lot of those were way closer than I'd like. And we've become so accustomed to putting our feet up and expecting Tommy Stevens to go 3-4 yards down the field. But he's doing the job. And as long as we can keep Tommy Stevens healthy and get him healthy for the playoffs, I'm good with AJ back there. Without question.
Well, that's it. Like it wasn't like going from him to whatever we were running the last couple of seasons where it was just like, okay, maybe we just need a punt. So it's my concern is always, though, AJ's health. The more shots he takes at that line, the more likely he is to get banged up. That said, like you said, he's come in better shape this year. So hopefully that keeps him off the trainer's table as much as possible.
And one thing we got to talk about with this game, and we talked about it post game, we'll talk about it now, is the kicking game and how much of a joke it is for this team this year. Campbell Fair did not miss a field goal. Let's give him that. Sure, he didn't attempt one, but he didn't miss one. Okay. And the first convert that he missed, he only missed it by like a yard or 2. So, whatever. I laughed like out loud. I literally LOL'd when he missed that first one, because I was like, of course he would.
Yep.
We're talking about finally making a change because Lothar's been so bad at kicking field goals, and this guy misses a convert. The second one, though, oof. Still not sure where that ball landed. Somewhere on the sideline somewhere. That was one
Pure
of the
Madden
worst
meme. Pure Madden meme. Oh, my Lord.
One of the worst kicks we've ever seen, and basically cost him his job.
Since the preseason. One of the worst kicks we've seen since the preseason. You need to put that qualifier on it.
It's sad when that wasn't even the worst kick we've seen in 2025. It was awful. can we get this figured out? And I know we will talk about it in a minute, but you need to do something with the kicking position because this is getting embarrassing and it's going to cost us. It's going to bite us in the butt come playoff time to not have a reliable or even remotely reliable kicking game.
Like this is stuff that we used to make fun of Winnipeg for when they were on that run. It's like, yeah, it's fine. As long as you don't have to trust Legio to make you a kick. And they had trusted Legio to try to make that kick in that Grey Cup. And we know what happened. Don't get me wrong, Legio's figured it out. Maybe one time Campbell Fair will be like kicking 50-yarders for somebody that's not us. But right now, I know I don't want him on the roster.
It won't be us.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. Wasn't a good first impression for Campbell Fair, and I get it, nerves and all that, but come on, man, you're the pros. You can't be missing kicks that bad. Granted, they were just singles and they weren't field goals that hurt the team in the long run, but still very, very concerning. And I don't think we'll see them ever dress again, to be honest. But bottom line, Riders win, get to 11-4. Magic number to clinch first place is now down to 1. They still haven't clinched the home playoff game yet, which is really weird. But with a win against Toronto on Friday, they get the home playoff game, they get first place, they get that bye, and the road to the Grey Cup comes through Mosaic Stadium. So that's all they needed to do was just beat Ottawa. They did it. And they set themselves up really nice in these last 3 games. So now just to extend on the kicking game, that's some of the big news with the roster this week. Well, they added like 3 kickers on the negotiation list.
On the neg list, yeah.
Since that game. They signed a kicker, Michael Hughes, an American. So maybe you make a roster switch somewhere. And just say, screw it, give him the shot, take off an American somewhere else, maybe on the D line, one of the backups. I don't know if that's an option, but it very well could be this upcoming game. So I will say this about Jeremy O'Day is he's working on it. Got to give him props for that. It might not work, but he's at least trying, and that's, without getting a Boris Beattie, Boris Beattie might be the best name available, but
Dean Faithful's out there, like we said, like a month and a half ago, like who are you going to bring in? Like we've seen all these guys, and all of them are out of the league for a reason. Yeah,
and I liked what I saw from Michael Hughes. Somebody was posting his pro day ahead of the draft. Was it last year? And he went 13 for 13 in kicks, including a 63-yarder. So
how many guys were rushing?
Leg.
How many guys were rushing?
I understand it's a whole different ball game when you're not getting rushed, especially as a kicker, but you still got to have the leg to make a 63-yarder, whether you're getting rushed or not. And he made it comfortably. So I'll take 13 over 13 over what's Lothar right now? 68%.
Yeah.
At this point, try anything. Give him a shot. He cannot possibly be worse than Campbell Fair.
Basically have your open tryout right now over these next 3 games, especially when 2 of them may not mean anything, and get the right guy in there for your playoffs. Team also signed 2 defensive backs, Jordan Perryman and Nafiz Leon, who is really surprisingly was out of the league for a while. Was making plays he was with Montreal last year. He started with Edmonton, was with Montreal when they won the Grey Cup in 23, was with them in 24, and had a number of interceptions. So bringing in a guy with experience to shore up a defensive backfield that now who knows with Sales and Milligan how they're doing, that I think this could be a really sneaky good signing at the end of the year here.
And Perryman was with BC as well. So both guys have experience, which is really good when you're, like I said, when you're bringing in like a Benny Sapp who never had experience. And so, yeah, the more experience you can have, obviously, the better, especially as you come into the playoffs.
And in a corresponding move, the team released receiver Dre McCray. So
He's still
all
here.
3 of our rookie of the years are gone.
Bye.
He looks so
Hope he
good in
doesn't-
preseason.
Right?
Hope he doesn't drop his plane ticket on the way out the door, I guess.
Somehow.
As long as they don't like toss it to him, I'm sure it's fine.
That's the opening kickoff presented by Kathy Festian of Royal LePage Next Level. Like I said, more comments from a post-game show. If you haven't checked that out, it's on the YouTube channel. Go check that out. Time now for Remember That Guy, sponsored by District 306, Regina's Tactical Laser Tech Experience. Greg's going to pick a player from Riders history, give us some hints, and we have to guess who it is. How many Van Stones is this one, Greg?
This one actually might be a 4 or 5. Because you know why? Because I forgot this guy was even a rider.
Okay. So he's probably not on my list.
All right.
Anyway, let's remember that guy.
Like our
There's
good
that.
friend. No,
I haven't done that in a while.
I will never forget he's a rider as much as you bring him up.
I won't let you forget that.
Like our good friend Timmy Chang is a Hawaii Warrior. At Hawaii, he was first team all WAC. He currently is the 5th in career receptions, 4th in receiving yards, and 2nd in receiving touchdowns
In college or in?
in college.
Okay.
Yeah, Hawaii.
He was an undrafted free agent signing by the Houston Texans.
It's not Chad Owens, is it?
It is not Chad Owens. What? I'd forget Chad Owens was a rider.
I never know.
He is called Houston, Chicago, Vancouver, Miami, Hartford, and Edmonton home. Set the CFL record for longest playoff punt return at 106 yards. And
Sorry,
I
I cut out when you said he set the CFL record for what?
longest playoff punt return at 106 yards.
No, he wasn't. No.
However, his major stamp on Rider Nation was getting blown up by Jamie Borum.
Grace Mullen?
Yes.
Ryan Grace Mullen. Wow. That's
He was a rider in 2010 that I completely forgot he was a rider.
I got a picture with him at before the Grey Cup or at the parties in Edmonton. He's a good dude. He was hanging out at the parties, and it sure looked like it when we played that day.
I legitimately forgot he was a rider.
Oh.
Huh?
I know he had a good start to his career in Vancouver
Very good.
with the Lions. Yeah,
Nothing?
I don't remember anything. Did you have stats with the Riders? Like, did he play much?
Yeah, let me pull up his stats for the
Pretty sure he was mostly a returner and occasionally
yeah.
he had a few opportunities at receiver, but it was not a lot.
I'm not gonna lie. When he was on the team, I was probably having a lot of pink lemonades at Taylor Field. So that'll be why I don't really remember much about him.
He has 1 rush for 9 yards with the Riders. 4 catches for 39 yards.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
He's
Uh,
more deserving of the alumnus of distinction than Timmy Chang.
Timmy Chang, yeah. 22 punt returns for 177 yards. And 24 kick returns for 500 yards. Well, 498. And missed field goal returns for 39 yards. No
Was that
points.
the longest? That was the CFL record for longest punt return in the playoffs.
106 yards, yeah.
I like it.
I barely remember that guy.
But I do remember Jamie Borum absolutely blowing him up.
Yep.
I think that's why Matt still wants Jamie Borum as our punter from now on.
He was good at blowing guys up.
He sure was.
Jamie Borum's hitting and Eddie Johnson's mustache, and I'd be set as punter or at punter.
I got nothing on this guy, man. I have nothing else to say.
Like I said, I forgot he was a rider. It literally to the point it was like, I'm like, huh? I forgot he was on the team. All right.
Yeah, I'd have to do a deep dive, obscure look at that roster to remember that he was on the team.
Yeah.
Well,
and that's what I do now to pick these players.
That's a good one. I'm curious how many it took for Rob.
Yeah, Rob, let me know if you got that one. You got my number.
Let's remember that guy. Sponsored by District 306, Regina's tactical laser tag experience. We'll do that again next week. Time for the Churchill Brewing Company odds and end zones. Other games from last week. Calgary at BC. That was the one that we were all paying attention to. That was the one that mattered the most for us. It was kind of a win-win, lose-lose situation, but win-win. ABC. Calgary loses that game. BC kind of let a huge lead slip away. But the thing I want to talk about is, well, one, Craig Dickinson.
I was going to say Craig Dickinson's records post Labor Day.
Yeah. In the last 4 years, the team that Craig Dickinson has been on, so 2 years with the Riders, 2 years with the Stamps now, 122-1 after Labor Day.
That's
maybe hire him for the beginning of the year and then fire him immediately after Labor Day.
Can you trade coaches? Maybe trade him to your division rival after Labor Day.
He can stay in Calgary for a long time.
Imagine Dave calling Craig in for that conversation. Craig, this is gonna be a little awkward at Thanksgiving this year, but
no, he's Dave's fault. I'm telling Mom.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, call Mom. Mom wants to talk to you about something.
Yeah.
122-1. That is incredible.
I'm not even mad. That's
like
impressive.
That's like even Bobby Dice is like, wow, man, that's yikes. But the interesting thing about that whole and the Calgary Stampeders situation, and I want to get your guys' thoughts on this. If a Rider player said this, NFL player, doesn't matter really. Vernon Adams Jr. says that he lost his confidence. First off, 2 questions. The second question is your guys' take on this. But Greg, this is more for you.
I know it's probably for me.
Is this more like when Austin Powers says he lost his mojo and needs to get it back? Or is this when Shawn Michaels lost his smile back in the late 90s?
Oh, as much as the Austin Powers, I do enjoy that one. This is definitely Shawn Michaels standing in the middle of the ring with Gorilla Monsoon and relinquishing the Intercontinental title because he's lost his smile. Like, this is just like where's no Tell Me a Lie was when was the song that they played when Owen gave him a concussion with the Enziguri. So I kind of wanted to go in and Tell Me a Lie, but yeah, I love VA. I don't get me wrong, I love VA, and we always talk about how we want players to be real and authentic.
Mm-hmm.
This might be a little too real to put out there because now you're going like he's going. I guarantee you he was hearing it the entire time from smack talk about the guys about losing your confidence,
mm-hmm.
and that ain't going to help. Like, unfortunately, with sometimes as a pro athlete, you kind of got to fake it till you make it. So if you're not feeling it, you got to act like you are feeling it. And by being that honest, I think he did himself a detriment. But like I said, it's 6 of one, half a dozen the other. You want that authenticity, but this time it's like, yeah, okay, you're a little too authentic. Like, dial it back like 10%.
I'm with Greg. I absolutely appreciate that he was honest and said those things. But when you're in the middle of a 3-game losing streak, watching what was once almost a guaranteed run at first in the West slip away to the point that it's now
There's a
even making the Western Division playoffs.
Yeah.
In a matter of 3 weeks. These are the things you say to yourself in the mirror, not to a reporter, not to give ammunition. And if I'm the fans in any stadium that he's playing in for the rest of the year, you have to be hearing that, including in Calgary. Like, just We all love VA. There's no argument there. Fantastic human being, but this is one of those times. Maybe keep that one to yourself.
Yeah, it's one thing to know and admit to yourself that, or even just to say in the media that you're not playing well, and I'm making bad decisions, I'm throwing bad footballs, I'm doing this wrong, I'm doing this wrong. It's one thing to say that, and we see that all the time, right? Yeah. Guys taking ownership, and I know he'll always be that guy that takes ownership of his play. Man, you're not going to bench your starting quarterback, but if I'm a coach and my player's going around and saying, yeah, I don't have confidence, I don't think I can make this, I'm not putting you out there. Okay, well, go sit on the bench until you think you can make it.
Well, that's it. Like, you have to have, I'm not saying he completely doesn't believe in himself. I don't think that's the case.
No.
But when you're out there going, I don't got it, and I don't know when I can get it back, it's one thing going, yeah, I made a mistake here, I made a mistake there. You know, we're going to work with the thing, going watch some extra film, blah, blah, blah. But when you put that all on yourself saying, I just don't have it, like, that means you're second guessing yourself. That means you are going to make more bad decisions. That means no matter how much film you're going to watch, it's still all up in here. So, yeah, get him in front of a sports psychologist and try to get him out of it as soon as you can. If not, Calgary's toast for the rest of this year.
I wonder how we would have reacted if Brett Lawther said that. Because clearly that was an issue with him too, but you never heard him say that. He said that he was the worst player in the CFL, but there was no lack of confidence.
We touched on that, though. Like, we said, like, and I think he actually admitted he was seeing a sports psychologist of it, or it came out that he was.
Yeah, I think he's been doing that for a couple of years, yeah.
So, it's like I said, it's one thing to say it, and it's another thing for everyone to see what's happening. And I don't know. It just, like I said, it just makes it seem more tangible and harder to get out of if you're the one saying it.
And I would also say from a kicker, you can see it happening. You can watch a kicker who's lost his confidence and know that's part of the problem. Like, we all know Brett Lawther has the leg to make the kicks he's making. It's just something isn't right in his head, in his form, whatever it is. You can forgive a kicker for saying something like that. It's obvious.
And you can see it in their body language too, right? Like in a kicker.
Yeah.
Like the slump over, like, oh, but man, if you see your quarterback doing that, like, that's a problem.
Exactly. When it's your leader, your team leader, imagine how the receivers sitting there watching that interview going, oh, that's our guy. That's our leader. That's our quarterback. And that's how he's talking to the media. Is this the guy we want to follow?
And also, I'm not saying that the receivers would do that. That also gives the receivers now going, well, I didn't make that catch because obviously Vernon didn't throw it right. And it's just going to compound. Like, at some point, other players need to take some responsibility for the slide. It's not all on Vernon. Like,
no. Going to throw a curveball at you guys here while we have a few extra minutes here. Talk about the Riders. Likely going to clinch first. I'm not going to go out and say that it's going to happen, but it's probably the most likely outcome here.
You better be knocking on some wood.
No, that wasn't wood.
Jesus. How long have you been a Rider fan? You don't say that.
A lot of things would have to go wrong for the Riders not to finish first in these last 3 weeks. Assuming that they do, when you look at how everybody's playing right now, probably fair to assume that Calgary is going to be the crossover team. BC is going to finish second, Winnipeg third. I think that's fair to assume. Just the trajectory of where everyone's going. It's very possible that Winnipeg finishes second. It's possible Calgary finishes second. They're not going to, but it's possible, right? But as a Rider fan, how do you want this to shake out in the playoffs? Who do you want to see come into? And we'll address this in a couple weeks again too, and it's actually come time to look at those games. But right now, does anybody scare you?
BC.
BC's the closest, and I'm not 100%. I'm not like fully scared as much as other people are.
The thing about BC is they're a very well-rounded team. They're solid defensively. Nathan Rourke's playing out of his mind, and Keon Hatcher is on an entirely different level. But we've had their number too. We're 2-0 against them for a reason. This team is built to play against teams like that. They're built to give up yards, not touchdowns. But if you have to look at any other team, at least in the West, there's another discussion in the East. But if you look in the West, if Calgary scares you, I have questions for you because they're on a downward trend. Winnipeg is 0-2 against us, and Edmonton is not making the playoffs. So who else could it be?
Okay, here's the thing. Okay, can we entertain the absurd?
I hope so.
Yes.
If the absurd includes Winnipeg missing the playoffs, let's entertain the hell out of it.
If Edmonton holds serve against Winnipeg this week, that puts them at 7-9 and Winnipeg at 8-8. Following week, which is going to be a harder road to go, Edmonton plays BC. BC might not have anything to play for, so we don't know where that's going to go. The final week, it's Edmonton versus Calgary, which there still might be something to play for in that game.
Yep.
So, as much as it's easy to say Edmonton is cooked, they've got two very winnable games on their slate right now. Because I think they could actually beat Winnipeg this week.
Where's that? It's in Edmonton. Okay, maybe.
Edmonton, pack the park. Get out there for your team.
It's in Edmonton.
For the good of the CFL.
They just signed Rankin. Cody's playing better. Like if they can get that defense figured out, if they can keep Zach under pressure, they could steal one against Winnipeg.
I mean, I'm with Steve. Anything that keeps Winnipeg out of the playoffs, I'm all here for. That said, I'm not going to.
Oh no, that's what I said. Can we entertain the absurd?
Pretty absurd.
This is the absurd. I'm just saying, there's two winnable games on this slate for Edmonton right now.
The only good thing for Winnipeg, though, is that game against us next week
might mean nothing.
That might be one of the easiest rosters Winnipeg has to play all season. And with that, let's assume that the Riders finish first. What do you guys do with the final two games? Let's say they win against Toronto, or Calgary loses to Hamilton. Riders clinch first this week. Those last two games, how do you approach it from an injury outlook? Are you playing Trevor Harris for most of the games, half the games? Are you not even dressing him for these? You got to remember there's still that bye week after. So you don't want to not have your, not playing any meaningful reps for like a month, right? So what would be your guys' approach to the final couple games?
To me, I think it depends entirely on how well the offense performs against Toronto. If they can have the game that we know they can have, you absolutely sit everybody against Winnipeg. Because out of the two teams that we play left to go, the team that scares me and we talked about this from potentially a roughing situation, it's Winnipeg. There's a whole rivalry thing there. We've gone after their guy, intentional or not. They're coming after ours. I'd be benching Trevor Harris. Not that I'm accusing the Winnipeg Blue Bombers of intentionally injuring anybody, but I'm not. No, I'm just kidding. But to me, I think you give them that week off. You give as many people as you can the week off in Winnipeg, and then you bring the guys for about a half in BC or against BC.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. Like if they clinch this week, next week is a Jake Mirror game. You dress Trevor, if anything, at third string, just in case something goes really goofy. But
I don't even know if you do. Why? let Mayer and Cone be the 1-2, and hopefully Stevens is there for 3.
I suppose.
Let Jake Mayer cook.
No, blink
Sorry, I'm a
twice if you.
teenager.
I was gonna say, blink twice if you're under stress.
No, I just have a teenager.
All right. Well, that's also a problem for down the road. So we'll address that probably next week again. Regina Thunder. Last thing here on the odds and end zones. Regina Thunder have just came off the bye week. The PFC was on the bye week this past week. This week they got the Edmonton Wildcats Sunday, Thanksgiving Sunday, 1 p.m. at Leibel Field. They win this, they clinch first in the PFC, and everything runs through the Thunder, right?
It's funny because we part of the reason why we're recording so late is a Thunder meeting tonight, and we were trying to figure out the playoff scenarios. Lord forbid if the Thunder lose, the first tiebreaker is head-to-head record. Well, technically speaking, that's tied because they're both 1-1, and we beat them by the exact same amount they beat us.
Oh no!
So then I think it's like total points after that, like total points 4, I believe. And right now the Hilltops have a 2-point advantage.
Ooh.
So yeah, So if they don't lose, if we don't lose, we don't have to worry about it. But yeah, it's a wild situation. That tells you how tight those two teams are this year. But yeah, it's Wildcats and Dogs is what we're calling it. Before the game, Regina Kennel Club is putting on one of those dog obstacle courses on the field. Plus, at halftime, there's wiener dog races. We expected 15. We have 41 signed up.
Jeez.
Wow.
I didn't realize there was that
lot of
many
wiener
wieners
dogs
in Regina, but apparently there is. $2 hot dogs all day with the proceeds going to Regina Minor Football.
Awesome.
And it's also our 5th year game, so they're going to be honoring all the 5th years prior to the game as well. So, and I won't be there because I'll be in Lethbridge.
Well, that sounds like a hell of a setup. You know what? For people that do Thanksgiving dinner on Sundays, that's a good way to get the day going.
Yep.
Watch a little bit of football in the morning, a little NFL, especially the London game. 7:30 in the morning, you can watch football, and then go to Leibel Field, get the wiener races, all that kind of good stuff that you were talking about, and then you can have Thanksgiving stuff. That's a good day. That sounds like a really good day.
It'll be a solid day, and it should be a good football game. Wildcats typically are also fighting for a playoff spot. Like, as much as the Thunder and the Hilltops basically have 1 and 2 sewn up, everyone else still could touch the playoffs. So everyone has to basically win this week to cement where they are in the playoffs.
And the Wildcats are the better of the two Edmonton teams?
This year, actually, that reminds me. They were at one point, but I think the Huskies currently hold the tiebreaker on them.
Oh, okay.
CGFL.org. It'll take me 2 seconds. I know it's the Thunder and Hilltops, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's there we go. Thunder and Hilltops, Winnipeg Rifles. Huskies currently are 3-4. Wildcats and Colts are 2-5. But if they win, they'll go up into the playoffs. So, because so it's going to be a tight game.
It's gonna be a fun stretch run for the Thunder.
And none of the PFC games will end up being 94-0 like a couple of the Ontario games were.
Oof.
One game got stopped at half at 93-0.
Jeez.
Wow.
At what point is that fun?
Steve, do you remember the first year I joined your floor hockey team?
Yeah.
And we were at what point was that fun? Because it wasn't.
Right, but even other teams weren't having fun running up the score on us. Like, there's a limit to beating somebody down, and 93-0 at halftime.
So, okay, I'm looking at GTA Grizzlies was the team that was losing 94-0 at half. Their points for 19. Their points against 409.
Yikes.
They're bad.
So it's not that the other team was that good. They are just that bad.
They're not bad. There is a expansion team, the Sault Ste. Marie Cougars. that beat them like 50-7. I think they actually got a point.
Wow.
The game.
So what you're saying is just yet another Toronto team that's going to miss the playoffs.
Yes.
Good.
See, we brought it back.
Full circle and right into the enemy preview presented by Creasy's Premium Home Leisure Jacuzzi Spas. The other Toronto team that will miss the playoffs, the Argos. Riders hosting them Friday at 7:00. Obsidian, lights out game for the Riders. This one, as we mentioned, the win clinches first place. Jarrett Daggy going to get the start for the Argos with Nick Arbuckle hurting his shoulder in the last game, and they're shutting him down for the rest of the year.
I love the fact they still haven't officially shut down Kelly. Like, Dinwiddie's still talking about how he might make it this year. Why?
Just say no. It's not worth it. Anyway, I think it was Ryder Prophet that said this on social media, and I have the same weird feeling. I don't think it's going to happen, but there is that worry in the back of my mind that the third stringer is going to come in and just light it up against the Riders.
Spurgeon Wind.
We've all seen
that
this movie
name
before.
Is banned, Greg, from this show.
Every time this comes up, that's what it is. It's Spurgeon Wind.
We can't say that Ottawa receiver's name from back in '76. Spurgeon Wind's name is right there with him on this show. But the reason why I don't feel as worried about this is because we actually have tape, video on Jarrett Daggy. Whereas if they were going with what's his name, Horn, their fourth stringer now second stringer, then I might have some worry. But with what we've seen from Jarrett Daggy, I think they'd be better off with Seth Daggy.
Have you seen our potential defensive backfield?
Yeah.
Like the group that was practicing today, what was it? Sapp, Redwine, Revis, Exume, and Fields. I'm not sure. Whoever I've taken Jarrett Daggy in my fantasy. I've seen this movie before. I know how this goes. We're going to be relying on Calgary to lose to clinch our home playoff game. I've been here before.
So with that, talk about the defensive backfield. Roland Milligan, Marcus Sales, both of them out of practice on Tuesday here. There's a Wednesday close practice. But would you, even if they could go, one of the two could go, would you even bother at this point? Or would you just take that chance that it's Toronto, you're at home, and you're up against a third string quarterback? Maybe let's take a look at what else we have.
Until first is locked in, you've got 2 games to see what you got here. Like, if they would have won some of the games they should have won earlier this year, we'd already be having this conversation. Throw red wine out there, throw blue bonnet. I don't care. Like, the fact remains is, like, lock first place up, then worry about seeing what you got. Yeah, put Sales in. If Sales or Milligan, or one of them's good to go, one of them's not. If one's 90, one's 70. Obviously, sit the guy that's 70. But roll with who you got. Once you get up by a bunch, pull them out, pull the leash, and then go with the other guys. But win the game. Like, win the damn game first before you're worrying about what's happening next.
I would disagree with you entirely on that to an extent. I agree, play them, but if they're 90 and 70%, you sit them both. If they are not at 100%, we need them for the playoffs. You sit them down until they're 100%, period. Or as close as you can be at this point in a football season.
Yeah, no one's at 100 at this point in the season.
90% is pretty close to 100.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think 90 is fine.
Yeah, from what Britton Gray said, if any of them plays, it's most likely it's going to be Tavon Campbell. And you play him if only to get the ratio spot and to get him some game time again, because he's been missing a few weeks.
Britton Gray's a Dallas Cowboys fan. We'll just leave it at that, okay?
Fair enough.
Take that for what it's worth. Okay. But that is a good point with Tavon Campbell. Obviously, he was limited. That's how they listed him.
Yep.
Was just on the sideline, didn't have a helmet or anything. Slowly working his way back. Has missed the last couple games. That ratio, that could be one of those weird things that also affects the kicking game potentially.
Yep. So
if you can get Tavon Campbell back, obviously he gets his corner spot, and thankfully no Exume at that point. Although if you do start Exume, well, there's your Canadian. That will allow the Riders to have an American kicker and go with what's his name, Michael Hughes. So, would you take that trade-off in this game to try the American kicker, Exume at corner?
No. Under no circumstances do you take any trade-off that involves putting Kerfala Exume in the defensive backfield. Period. I don't care if we're up by 30. I don't want to see him back out there ever again. That was one of the worst defensive performances I think I've ever seen since Junior Murtile. No, that was just one play. Exume was an entire 60-minute debacle.
Exume didn't quit
because he couldn't. He was too far back.
He tried to get back into it. Murtile never did.
It's really easy to say I'm trying to get back into it, and Tyson Philpott's 30 yards behind you already. Sorry, I have PTSD from Exume's last game. Can we just not do that again?
Just give me the next name on the banned list soon.
And there's a reason why they picked up defensive backs with experience.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be the first time I've seen them pick a guy up and put him in the first game. Here's the playbook, cover that guy.
I mean, effectively, that's how Marcus Sales started his Rider career.
Yeah.
And that didn't go good that first game.
No, but if it leads to the rest of their time here, I am thrilled with that idea.
So that secondary will all depend on what we get out of a closed practice on Wednesday. Rivas sounds like he'll still be at safety, even though Jackson Ford was limited in Tuesday's practice, but going to assume that they're going to hold him out here one more game at least. But with the way that Rivas played, I'm not sure if you can go with Ford or the combo. If Antoine Brooks is going to play at that level and you have CJ Rivas at safety, I think you just roll with that going forward.
That's a tough call. Beginning of the year, the system was working well, but there's something about having that safety who's actually a physical threat coming down the middle there. So that's a tough one.
Everybody healthy and you can still put out an American in that spot. Please keep CJ Rivas there.
Flip it over to offense. What do you guys want to see out of the offense this week besides more sustained drives?
Well, when we said it last week, we said we wanted to see them come out of the gates hot. I'd like them to stay at least lukewarm after that for a little while and keep the consistency and show they can put multiple drives together right out of the gate. That's the biggest thing to me.
So there's no pleasing you is what you're telling me.
No, there never is. I'm a Rider fan.
Yeah, I want to see a little. I want to see Trevor work with the guys he hasn't been working with in a while. Obviously, KSB, you could tell he was a little off with their timing. Get Bain Jr. involved maybe on that in the offense a little bit. Just some stuff just spell off both Johnson and Myers because we need them healthy. Last thing you need is a 1,000-yard receiver injured going into the playoffs. So. Let's get some of these other guys up and running.
Yeah, I'd like to see a little bit more, obviously, the consistency, but chemistry between KSB and Emelis and Harris. Emelis still coming back from missing his 6 games. So he's played the last 2, but hasn't really been involved in the offense very much. I'd like to see some more maybe quick hitters just to get him the ball, get him into the game, a screen, a hitch pass, something like that. Maybe end around, something. Just get them more involved. KSB, catch with your hands, bro. Don't catch with the chest. Had that one bounce right off of him. But those guys coming back from injury, want to see just that chemistry with Trevor Harris building towards the postseason, and of course just win. This is again, yes, they should on paper blow the doors out of the Argos in this game. I'm not expecting that, but it gets you first place. It gets you that extra rest. It gets you all the advantages going forward for the rest of the season. Just win the game. I don't care if it's by 1 or by 50. Just win. So that's what I want to see. But with that, let's make our picks. Can Greg?
Piffles.
Sorry, you paused on me there.
No, that's fine. You can keep playing. I was gonna say, can Greg get to his 52 and 48?
Not if I go perfect like I did this past week.
Yeah, that was a mistake on your end.
Exactly. Screwed myself. All right, back to Piffles picks.
Piffles picks.
Well, folks, when you write 52% of the time, you're wrong 48% of the time.
Sorry, I ruined the time space continuum.
Yeah, your dramatic pause messed me up.
First game, Toronto here against the Riders.
I'm gonna go Riders by 6.5.
Saskatchewan 8.5.
Really proud of you.
Thank you.
I don't know. It's going to depend on who's
I
playing.
think Toronto covers that spread.
Riders.
Steve has the Riders.
Now I've dropped my coin twice already.
Like I said, it's going to depend. Like I could see them easily blowing the doors off Toronto, but I can also see this being a field goal game. Just the way this team is.
Again, I've seen you have Rider fanned before.
I've rided before. Screw it. Ride till I die. We're going with the Riders.
All right. Second game, Calgary at Hamilton. I'll say Hamilton by 5.5.
Hamilton 4.5.
Hamilton's 2.5.
Wow.
Say that again?
2.5.
Huh.
At home versus a quarterback who said, I have no confidence. Give me the Ticats and Timmy Chang.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, your coin hasn't really been that good since the
I
first
know.
So you can stop anytime you want.
But I was 0-10 without the coin, so
That is true.
True.
I mean, let's be honest. Random chance is still better than me.
Third game, Winnipeg at Edmonton.
I'm gonna say Winnipeg by 4.5.
3.5 Winnipeg. Oh yeah. As much as I'd like to see Edmonton win this and put pressure on the Bombers, I'll take Winnipeg.
Where is it?
It's in Edmonton.
In Edmonton? I got Winnipeg.
I said I think Edmonton can win this game, and I truly think they can. So
I hope so.
I am taking them to cover. I get 3.5 points to play with, so I'm taking that.
And the final game on Thanksgiving Monday, Ottawa at Montreal.
Okay, so little behind the thing. Steve and I are on before you came on. I opened up the odds, and I started laughing really hard. So that's my hint.
It's either like Montreal by like 16 or else it's Ottawa by like 2.
There's no way it's Ottawa by anything.
Montreal by 1.5.
I'm gonna go Montreal by 13.5.
Wow. That's pretty absurd. That's a lot of points.
That's a lot of points.
And yet I expect Montreal to crush that. But what does the coin say?
Steve's got Montreal.
I got the Alouettes.
And that's only,
Alouettes.
and that's only a 51.5 total.
Jesus.
I'll take Ottawa to cover that. That's a lot of points, man.
That's a lot of points. That's the only thing that scared me. That's a lot of points.
But also, Ottawa's bad.
Ottawa is bad.
But how hilarious would it be to see Davis Alexander's first loss as a starter
Be against Ottawa?
to be with a 14-point spread?
It'd be very CFL. That's for sure.
I don't think Ottawa's going to win, but Ottawa might cover. I'm going to take Ottawa to cover. I will take them to cover.
All right. I got nothing else.
I think Dustin Crum is going to crumb back here.
No.
All right. Well, we will leave it there on the Piffles podcast. As mentioned, we're going to get Dante Myers for an interview here coming up on Wednesday afternoon. So we'll get that out by Wednesday evening as well. So check for that on the socials, on YouTube, all that kind of good stuff. And see you at the game on Friday at Mosaic Stadium. First place on the line for the Riders, and also have a very happy Thanksgiving. Piffles podcast is brought to you by our great friends at Dairy Queen on Elphinstone Street and Sass Drive in Regina. Special thanks, of course, go to Kathy Festian of Royal LePage Next Level, Churchill Brewing Company, District 306, Regina's tactical laser tag experience, Bigfoot Vodka, and Creasy's Premium Home Leisure Jacuzzi Spas for their support, making everything possible. Thanks for watching on SaskTel Max or YouTube. This is Ghost Behind Your Mind by Tyler Gilbert.
Thank you for being such a big supporter and fan of the CFL and myself personally.